What's going on? Murabituun. Ya salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Talk to us,
How are you,
Murabituun.
Mufti?
Where are you joining us from, first and foremost?
I'm joining you from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Ah,
Yeah,
Allah, Allah.
yeah.
The,
So
the land of one of the first hypotheses given to quantum physics, the Copenhagen hypothesis. The
oh,
Copenhagen, they have it's called the Copenhagen explanation, which is that when you observe the quantum realm, it collapses. I think they name it the
okay.
Copenhagen because when they were arriving at the experiment and the results, it was done from Copenhagen. That's why they just call it the Copenhagen kind of hypothesis. But yes, talk to us. I can see
Okay.
you're fresh, right in the jungle, right in the.
No, it was. I was asking questions earlier on the super chat
Okay,
about ayahuasca, so I thought it could be funny to post jungle
ayahuasca.
behind me. Yeah.
Wow. Talk to us
Yeah.
fresh from Mother Nature, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. No, I wasn't in the jungle. I was just here in Denmark, but no, yeah,
So
I just no,
wow.
I came home from a retreat for 3 days on an island.
3 days. Wow.
Yeah, and I did the two ayahuasca ceremonies
Wow.
actually, and
What? Sorry. Do
so
you mind your a
yeah, yeah.
name or
My name is Eunice.
Eunice? Eunice. I just
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
So Eunice, do you mind me
yeah.
asking? Had you prior to? I want to just come to the
Sure, sure.
ayahuasca
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
prior to the ayahuasca, had you embarked on anything, any mushrooms, anything else, or was it just pure the deep dive?
Yeah. I um, I had I haven't I've never tried anything at all. I haven't even tried a smoke. So
Okay.
the reason for my interest in psychedelics, etc., was because I had some stress-related symptoms, I guess, in my body,
Okay. Okay.
and so I contacted somebody, and I got some psilocybin in capsules, like in
Yeah.
pills.
Psilocybin
So
is
psilocybin,
the active
yeah,
ingredient from mushrooms for people. Yeah.
yeah. So it's pretty good for it's supposed to be good for anxiety, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about microdosing just to try it out,
Okay. Wow.
just one
Okay.
pill Monday, Thursday. So, but I
Wow.
didn't.
What days, huh? Monday, Thursday. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so but anyways, I didn't start with it because then I stumbled across ayahuasca, and I remember you spoke about psychedelics and ayahuasca, and was like, okay, so it's not haram. Maybe there's something to it that it could actually be beneficial, and so I was just started to research, and there's
Okay.
some Danish scientists are starting to research it, the psilocybin, etc.
See, and I just want to just say here, you see the key operative word here, people. You see, following on from what you just said, that look, you don't believe it's haram because I don't believe it's haram, and I've got a video. But the key word you said there is I researched it. You see, once I had interest, I started to research it, and you started to explore it yourself, like as in learn about it. But sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and obviously, way back, I listened to Mike Tyson talk about DMT and et cetera, et cetera. And
Yeah.
so I stumbled across a website where they offer those retreats here in Denmark. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't need to go
Wow.
to the jungle. So
Wow.
in 2 weeks, I did the diet.
Okay.
Because 2 weeks prior to the ceremony, you have to do a
They
diet
want
like
you to do a certain diet.
a
Yeah.
certain diet. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I went there. And I was so nervous because you don't know anybody. You know the
Yeah, it
people.
is.
It takes so much
Wow.
trust.
It is, man, because
So
I mean that is something, and so because you've got because that is an advanced level. You've gone straight into the advanced. You've not
yes.
you've not joined the. There is no.
Yeah.
He didn't even waste time with an intermediate.
Yeah, that's
You
the part.
said
That's the thing.
I want straight into
Yeah.
advanced, which is DMT.
Yeah.
So okay, so you
Yeah.
turn up, yeah, and then
Yeah, man. It was. I mean, I turned up and it was a nice place. People were hugging, so nice, etc., etc. I was
yeah,
like, okay. I had my own room, but I was so nervous because
wow,
So I
It
just kept
is. It is.
walking for hours. I
It's
was like, oh my
freaky,
god,
and
it was freaky because I was
sometimes you
like,
just
okay,
don't want to think about it,
I
because
didn't
if you
want to think
think
about it.
about,
I'm just gonna keep walking, moving, and just doing other stuff. And I was just
you're
praying
like,
so much, like, please don't let me die. I was like praying to God, and it's so intense. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and I'm on an island, and I didn't really tell anybody, because the
yes,
stigma said
salam.
I'm not gonna tell my parents, I'm gonna go on an island
Oh
and
no, no,
drink
no, no.
some. So I just said, okay,
Some
it's.
tea. I'm going to drink some chai.
I'm gonna go meet God and yeah, maybe die a couple of times and come back, but no. Yeah, so yeah, so
Mhm.
there were two ceremonies, and
Yeah,
I drank the cup, and he called. I mean, it's like there are mattresses in a room, and
yeah.
it's a little bit weird. It's like they blow smoke out and they sing songs,
Hmm.
etc. And it's like,
Hmm.
anyway,
I
I
mean,
drank the.
that's the kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, it's
ceremony thing. But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Anyways, I
So
drank the cup, and I was
yeah,
just like laying there and then waiting for something to happen. I was like, oh my god, I'm just. And then it was just like very. I just had a fever, like a kind of feverish warmth and
yeah,
extreme nausea. So I was like,
yeah.
I called and was like, "Oh,
Because
get this out of me! I wanted to stop because it was
yeah,
so
because ayahuasca does
overwhelming."
that, doesn't it? Because it gives
Yeah,
a whole sickening kind of feeling, and it's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
you
yeah. And
often throw up.
you throw up. They call it the
Mhm.
purge because you throw
Yeah,
up
la
toxins.
purga.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
So
purge.
you,
Yeah,
yeah. So it was just a lot of nausea, and then in the end of the ceremony, I was just like, saying sorry to God, please, I'm gonna, just like an intense kind of the dua. I was like, yeah, just crying, etc. Um, so yeah, that was the first ceremony,
okay,
and the second ceremony was crazy because it was in a tent, and there was a big fire in the middle of the tent. So
okay.
the atmosphere was just much more intense. But the second time was just I had they gave me an advice. They said don't fight it the next time. Just
Hmm.
just just
There is,
relax and just accept it.
I
Because the
find
more you
certain,
struggle, the more the
yeah,
medicine is going to tear you apart because your ego doesn't want
yeah,
to let go.
yeah. It's amazing because at its core, the message is to aslim, to surrender.
Yeah, give up
That
control.
submit.
Yeah,
It's amazing
yeah,
because that
it's
is,
crazy.
it reflects, intimates these messages of faith that, like, you just surrender,
Yeah,
submit,
yeah.
Allah.
And I tried it, so I just laid there and I was like, just relax, relax. And I didn't get any nausea, but then I just felt it like boom. It was just, it was like a hug, and I
Mhm.
could just see like something from nature just uh, trying to encompass you, trying to just overwhelm you. And then it's
Yeah.
like, please don't hurt me, etc. Don't if you're if just be gentle. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. And then it just became so overwhelming to let go of control. So I just
Mhm.
panicked and I just freaked out. I was like moving and oh my god. The more I resisted, then it went away like a scared animal.
Okay.
And then when I relaxed again, it came back. And then I was like, get me out of it, get me out of it. And then they can't get you out of it because once you drink the
Mhm.
cup, you're in it. You're in for the ride. So
you,
and
you're, you, you've had a, that's it.
but anyways,
Buckle
so
up.
I buckle up. There's no, I mean,
'Cause-
so I just it
yeah,
felt like dying, and not to scare anyone, but it just felt like dying. It was just turning, twisting,
yeah,
and then I went outside the tent and I just vomited on the grass because of the purging,
yeah.
and so many things were happening. Like one of the guests was like a guy from Saudi Arabia, and he was pretty he was a specialist basically, and
Wow.
he did it himself. He goes to Peru, he buys the ayahuasca, and he does ceremonies.
Yeah, you get many,
So
there's
while I
many
was
Muslims that are well into
yeah,
this. It's just that
but
because of the culture, they just,
yeah,
people are doing it. They're a part of it, but they're not, it's not at that kind of the the publicized because of the culture, because most
yeah,
people deem it's haram. So
it's
some
illegal as
people
well.
don't. Yeah, because of the
It's illegal.
legality issues as
Yeah,
well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, I just I went in and I just I wanted to get off the island. I was like, give me my phone so I can call my mother.
So
Give me a
how long are
doctor.
you into this now? How long are you
Uh,
at this stage?
it
How
takes
many
when
hours into you?
it's 4 to 6 hours
No, how no
when you drink
where
the coffee.
you're at this no where you're at this point. How many hours are you in? You know what you're saying?
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
gone
yeah.
thrown up and I'm
I was only in for this was about an hour in.
1 hour in.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 hour in. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I went into a separate room and then I could just feel it like some type of deep healing. Like, and I could hear a voice. It's like it just said, "Relax, relax." Like I heard its intention, and
Yeah.
then I could see a blinking light. Like it showed me kind of my nervous system where, and it
Yeah.
was fixing my nerves, and I could physically feel it, you know, deep down inside I could feel it repairing my, like, fixing something that was broken.
Wow.
So yeah, it was so crazy. I was like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, look at what it's doing, it's helping me, blah blah blah. And the helper was lying next to me, and yes, and after that I was just, my ego just broke. I just cried, and some trauma maybe from childhood came up, etc. And I was just talking, and that's when I realized, okay, it had broken down the layers of egos and all the narratives and, the self that you build up
Yeah.
over years. It had peeled them off, and then I just felt connected with everything alive. Like I
Did
just
you
felt the pure
that's
love for everything. The ego was just had
yeah.
to dissolve.
It's
You know what I mean?
amazing.
And
You know,
yeah,
as the
it's a
ego
I don't
dissolves, the
yeah
sensation of love that a
yeah
person
yeah.
has for it's
No
like you
hatred, no
become
envy.
yeah,
All the
wow. It's
hatred
so
and anger
true.
I had towards people, it was gone. I just wanted to love. It didn't matter anymore.
And it doesn't and also it doesn't make sense. Like you think like you
Yeah,
almost feel sorry that why do people have hate?
yeah,
Like you think, yeah, like like they should just be love. Like I don't
yeah.
understand why people are like they're hurting themselves by
We're
carrying
hurt. Yeah,
hatred.
yeah. We're hurting ourselves. Yeah,
And
you're
it's
not.
like you feel the pain for them, like for being for people that harbor hate, and you're thinking, but this is harming you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's amazing how
yeah,
the yeah, wow. So
yeah.
okay, and
So I had just become a person I wasn't. Like you've just become someone that you aren't really in essence. So yeah, I mean, anyways, when I came back, it was just so overwhelming, and yeah,
did you have
that,
any complete out of body experience like that? Did you feel was
no,
there? Did you close your eyes and
I
lie
closed
down?
my I
Yeah.
close yeah yeah I lied down and I closed my eyes, but it
Hmm.
wasn't an out of body experience. But I could feel, it did
Yeah.
feel like something alien,
Yeah. Yeah.
something
Yeah. Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
of
Sure.
your
No, of
being.
course, of course, of course, of
So
course.
I can't really explain what it is, but
No,
I felt
you can't
definitely
put
that
it into words.
I felt like it was an intelligent force, but
Hmm.
it's hard to
Di- You
yeah.
know, this is the thing. The things that did you see things and
I saw my because my grandfather, he passed away 6 months ago during Corona, and I didn't really get to mourn him, etc. And we couldn't really go there because of the Corona restrictions, as he died. So I guess there was something that was unresolved in my chest or my heart or whatever. But I saw his home
okay, wow,
in Morocco, etc., and up in the mountains. So I just felt he was at
wow,
peace. I just got an overwhelming sense that,
wow.
okay, he's okay.
Alhamdulillah.
He's part of everything. Like,
Yeah. Do you feel
so,
you know
yeah,
that feeling of being connected with
yeah,
everything, that there
yeah,
is a connection between us all.
yeah. He's yeah.
Yeah.
I felt really connected deeply with every living organism. Like it's like you tap into a network of everything that is alive. You just feel connected.
And you
So
know this thing. See, did you have many other? Did you have many visuals as well, or like
No,
they
I
see
only
colors, they see things. They
no, I
did
just
you
in the
have some
beginning.
of that?
No, when it started, when it was trying to enter you basically on a deep level,
Yeah,
it was just a picture of um
creeping in.
creeping in, and just
Yeah,
I couldn't really visualize something, but I was thinking like roots,
yeah,
like
yeah.
grass,
Like taking,
like
like
yeah,
like
it's
kind
just
of creeping in on you,
yeah,
consuming you almost.
consuming me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That like a death doing it. Yeah.
Like a
Mm.
death, like a death, like a part of death, and it's like it was so hard to let go of control. It was so terrifying. It was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die here.
This is why I asked
Yeah,
that
yeah,
at the beginning. That did you do anything before you did it? Like, did you ever do any mushrooms or anything? Because
yeah,
it's such an advanced thing to kind of embark on, and yeah, it's because it's and if a person's never experienced letting go and submitting,
yeah,
they've never truly submitted and surrendered, and they take a deep dive into something like this. I
yeah.
mean, I suppose once you've taken the dive, it's like once you jump, well, gravity is going to do what it's got to do now, so there's no
uh,
turning back. But
no,
it's scary as hell. So
yeah.
I was
So,
thinking, wow, okay,
but yeah, and then when I came back, the important part of the story is probably the work after. So
wow,
I could walk around. I didn't have any hatred or negative
yeah,
thoughts
salam,
or anxiety or anything.
Allahu Akbar.
It was amazing, and I could just I could hug my family members. I could hug my mother, kiss her, say I love
And
you.
this and
I didn't
I tell
care.
you something, and it seems afterwards that what is all this things, what is all this fighting and all
Yeah,
this thing of this dunya about? Like, why are
so
we
pointless.
wasting our energy? It's so
Yeah,
pointless, isn't? And it
yeah.
feels
It
so
feels like
extra
that. Yeah,
pointless
yeah.
at that time, and it
Really, yeah,
feels like, yeah, and you just wish you could show it to people how
yeah,
pointless this pettiness is. Doesn't
yeah.
mean anything. It's like somebody asked earlier on today about they said, oh, I've got this group and this sectarianism and the Salafis, and I've got the Ahmadis, and I've got this, and I've got, and you want to explain to people that, look, this, all this infighting, all this, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Like, what
Yeah.
is
The
you're
ego,
missing that. Yeah,
the ego is just a crazy thing, man. It's really because beneath it all, beneath all the layers, is just you just have love for everything. I think most people are like this.
it's
You know what I
amazing
mean?
how
It's just
yeah,
layers we've built
it
up,
is.
and
And some people, from a psychological perspective, they say that one theory is that, you see, at our core, insan would be, or this is from a psychological perspective, that
yeah,
humans would be so connected with all forms of life. Because look, life, like plants, animals, humans, we at a core level are all connected through DNA. Like, we have the same, like, obviously we're more, we're different, we're not part of the plant kingdom, but we have some relation of life. And it's interesting how Allah says in the Quran that, min al ma, it is from that He ja'ala kulla shay, that if all of life, it had one point of origin from this kind of primordial liquid. Now, this primordial soup of life, or whatever it is. So we have some connection. Now, one theory of psychology says that in human beings, in order to survive, right, it needed to reinforce this notion of the ego, because it needed to kill, it needed to hunt, it needed to, and you couldn't do it with that much compassion and empathy for, with, and that much love,
mm,
because it would kill you to kill the prey. So
yeah,
the the human, it needed this isolated ego to survive, because it needed to hunt, and it needed to, and to do that, it needed to separate itself, that this is me and that's not me, and I can kill it because I need to. Do you see, at a very brutal survival level? And
Yeah.
it's interesting that, you see, because ultimately, because this is that, where Allah has created us, but we have that asfal safilin, but we also ahsan taqween. And insan, I don't know, it's our journey in between, I guess, if we can find that. But once found, just even just having that, this is what the mystics called dhawq, that it's only something you said, I can't explain it in words, because it's from dhawq, it's what the mystics call the Sufia, these people would call it the dhawq, that it's, you can only taste it, it's experiential, you can't put these things into words, that kind of love, that kind of um compassion. But yeah, it's so wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's something, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to share it and just like get your perspective on it because I
I
probably
think,
wouldn't have done it if I didn't got the green light. If you haven't
yeah,
had your
look,
videos,
I
etc.
think, it's interesting that, look, people see it differently. My perspective is this: look, there will be many people who feel that this is haram. Okay, that's fine. They should not do it then.
Yeah.
Okay, because to them, this is haram, that's fine. I do have a video where I highlight that, look, that this is not haram based on these, and people can disagree. That's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. If they, like in the madhabs, I have a video showing all the kind of meat that different madhabs believe is haram. Like according to
Mm.
the Hanafi madhab, apart from docile animals, everything is haram. And according to one end of the Maliki madhab, apart from pig, nothing is haram. So, whether a person was eating tiger meat or crocodile meat or eagles or anything, it's not haram. So according to the other thing, almost everything apart from poultry and beef and this and that, is everything else is almost haram. So you have, and the point is, what you follow is your devotion to God. Now there is this hadith that, look, ma anzalallahu da'an illa wa anzala lahu shifa, that Allah has not, that there is not in an an ailment or a disease or a sickness of any sort, including anxiety, including depression, including, there is none of these things except Allah has sent, revealed in nature, anzala, where in nature, lahu shifa, and there is a shifa for it, in some herb, in some plant, in some fruit. And then the hadith says, alimahu man alim wa jahilahu man jahil. Whosoever came to know of it, came to know of it. Whosoever did not come to know of it, did not come to know of it. And then the hadith says, illa al-maut, except maut. Everything else, it will have something to be discovered. And this, I feel, is, it's an amazing part of nature, which Allah
Yeah.
is from Allah. It's not these things. And I feel that the a it's difficult for an atheist to experience this and come back an atheist. It's, to me,
Yeah.
that
Good luck.
is just so,
Good
people,
luck. Good
it's
luck.
it's
Try
very
it.
difficult. Yeah, and tell me, this is,
Good luck.
when
Good luck.
people say, Eunice, oh,
Yeah.
but it's just in your mind.
Yeah. I mean, good. Yeah. I
You
mean,
say, well, you say, I'm not so sure about that, because
yeah.
I know what, right now I've got things in my mind.
Yeah.
I dream, let's
Yeah.
say, every night. I know what dreams feel like.
Yeah.
I know what daydreaming feels like. I know what imagining things feels like.
Yeah.
I
No,
know
this is
what
not
real
that.
feels like.
Yeah.
And this feels more real than real. So what am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
There's. Yeah. No. It's
yeah. And what about the clarity, and and
Ah,
something that is a source of love and peace. And it's true, because I said once that, I was saying it in jest, but I was saying it as a joke, but I was, there was a hint of truthfulness to it. I said that it should really be mandatory for all world leaders to 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 take this, sacred medicine, because
Yeah.
the world would be a different place.
Definitely.
You imagine Putin had taken was on
Yeah.
you the truth is, you don't the world changes for a person.
Yeah.
They don't want to harm people. They don't want to, they want to be a source of love for people. They want to, in fact, they feel, what, their empathy increases when they see people suffering. It hurts them, and it hurts them so much, like, even to see them doing wrong, which that person isn't obviously in a state of suffering. They're just hateful about something. It hurts people to see it, because they think that, man, they're harming themselves by
Yeah.
being a source of hate. So
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about it all, is that the hate, the anger, the hostility, it only hurts yourself. That's the problem.
yeah,
And people, we do it when we try to, as a defense mechanism, when people, hurt
yeah,
us, stuff like that, when we
exactly.
experience bad things. So we do these things in order to protect ourselves. But the problem ultimately is that we end up hurting ourselves, because we become distant from who we really are. That
Yeah,
core, that, as you said, the essence of love, etc. So you just you risk ending up becoming a person that you are not really, that you aren't really.
yeah,
So that's what the medicine does. It shows you who you really are.
yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I get it. I got into a discussion recently with this a retired doctor, this lady, non-Muslim, and we spoke about this. And she'd worked in palliative care as well, and she wasn't a fan of psychedelics. And it's interesting, the term psychedelics, because it means mind expanding, mind opening. And so, well, and she said, well, look, I advocate other methods like meditation and mindfulness and all of that.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I agree that this, you see, look, whatever makes a person a better person, um if to some people they can achieve it through mindfulness and just doing their general things. And I shared a hadith today which really sums up Islam, about this whole thing of love. It's really, that whole hadith could be summed up by love. That, Allah, as long as you are set, you are taking a footstep in aiding someone in need, that God is aiding you. That as soon as that, the most beloved of actions is that just bringing some happiness to the hearts of another person, that repelling some agony from somebody that's suffering. At the heart, at the crux of that entire hadith is just this, it's just love. And so, however a person can self-actualize, if a person can do it in other ways, then of course. And this isn't, I'm not trying to say to people, and I don't say to people that, look, everybody should be doing this. And because it is, it's like you said, look, you went to do it, and it took a great amount of courage and a great amount of strength, because it was
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And I've heard, sometimes, there's the odd cases I've you can get on YouTube, in some, amongst some of the research. Sorry, you'll get some of the um, researchers mention, especially if people have a history of mental health. Like,
Mhm.
by mental health, I mean psychosis.
Yeah.
Then sometimes
Schizophrenia.
it can
Yeah.
be, yeah, it can be dangerous for them,
Yeah.
because if
Yeah.
people have mental health like schizophrenia in the family, or they hear
Yeah.
voices, and then for You see, because for people like that, the very little sense, the kind of semblance of reality that they have, for that to dissolve, it becomes too difficult for it to come back together, and it's too terrifying.
Yeah,
So it would be devastating for people like that to take it.
that's
But
true. Yeah.
yeah, but so these things are not for everyone. But at the same
No.
time, I do feel that it's a shame that certain cultures, even the Western cultures, because of Nixon's war on terror,
Mm.
still continue to outlaw these kind of things that can really help people heal, and
Yeah.
have led so many people back to God.
Yeah.
In this day and age, I really feel that this path of consciousness is what is leading so many people back to God. In an age of hard line materialistic, or mechanistic materialism, it is this path of consciousness that is breaking the way through it for your common people out there, not Muslims, for the
Mm.
common people out there. And it is forcing a way back to God, because it's difficult not to believe after you taste and experience the presence of God, that
Yeah.
you feel that it's difficult. But yeah, but I'm really grateful, Eunice, that you came on and shared your experience. It's
Of course.
sitting right there in the jungle. You took us right there with you. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been quite a night.
Yeah.
On that
Yeah.
pleasant thought, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you so much,
so,
Mufti.
so shukran first of
Thank
all to
you.
you,
Yeah.
people. That was Eunice, all the way from, was it from Amsterdam, I believe? But yeah, well, shukran, all the way from the mainland continent, from the jungle, right there, sharing his precious thoughts with us. People, it's been quite I can see, quite an evening. Let's wrap this up for tonight. Very fruitful discussion. Do take these, one of the most uh, the, the key words, really, the key phrases, sorry, that Eunice had said. And I remind people that, look, you are your own person. Okay. Um, he said that, look, when he was interested, he researched something. And a person always, they have their own they have their own path in front of them that they have to walk in life, I guess. And if you're somebody that does hold to the opinion that these things are haram, I respect that opinion. I understand where you're coming from. You're coming from the angle that to kind of dissolve any sense of reality in front of you, to you, may be akin to intoxication. And I respect that, although I respectfully disagree with it, but I respect that opinion. And I believe in that case, you should not do these things, and to you, it is haram. Um, but equally, we need to respect a difference of opinion. And that is, honestly, it is the beautiful diversity of Islam, that it shows us these incredibly different and diverse colors. Ameen, Ameen. And it's a journey, wallahi, and we're all on it, and we're all learning. I can't remember. I said to, who was I saying? We're all developing. Yeah, I just speaking to someone recent, just yesterday, day before yesterday. I was talking about something. I was talking talking about myself, and I said, look, like, what world would it be if we didn't develop? I said, like, I look at myself even, and I think, I see some things of myself, and I think, what an idiot. Wallahi, we. we develop. This is the fruits of life, that we walk this path, we grow, we develop, we learn, and we kind of have patience with one another along the way. Everybody's fighting a difficult path. May Allah bless everyone. May He give us all happiness. Ameen. And may He, more importantly, allow us to be a source of happiness for others. There is something so profound about just being able to bring a glimpse of happiness in a moment of another. That you are, for albeit a moment, a piece of sunshine in somebody's world. May Allah enable us all to do that and to truly understand this deen, as by the messenger, rahmatan lil alamin, that, it was a mercy, that Allah says, لو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. If you had this harshness to you, they would have fled from around you. You wouldn't see these people, but you weren't. You were rahmatan lil alamin. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. People, I leave you with that. If you want to reach out to me, send me a message on Instagram. I do try to respond as quick as I do try on Instagram. If you want a more personal interaction, if you want to take up the one-to-one perspective sessions I have, then that's available on Patreon. There are different tiers. There is the one-to-one perspective session. There is there's other benefits on Patreon with different tiers, subscribe tiers. There is all the tiers have with different graded rewards and benefits. They have a Discord server my Discord server, Mindscape. So you're more than welcome to check that out. You can go to Patreon. It's just Patreon/MALM, MALM. May Allah bless you all, people. Remember me in a kind dua. Wassalamu alaikum wa khuda hafiz.